All right, so today's video, we are watching a Plat 5 support on PC. You're going to see some Mercy, you're going to see some Moira. This is, like I said, Plat game. They say, this was one heck of a game that quite frankly could have been a complete stomp on us. My team defended first point, and honestly, we were rolled. I don't want to give too much away, but they had over 5 minutes left on the clock after their first push. The enemy Winston kept diving our supports, and we weren't playing well together as a team. After our first defense, 4 of us went on mic and started talking our way through it. I asked for one of the DPS to swap Reaper, and they did instantly. Then they say, I love you if you see this, and stuck around our supports as much as he could. By the way, Reaper, low-key really good right now. And let me give you a hint. When you play Reaper now, stop tank busting. Go to the back line, you're going to have a good time. We had amazing comms this game, and we wouldn't have been able to put up a fight at all if it weren't for our team working together the way we did. This is a rarity. People working together. 10 out of 10 team, put in a rough but very fun match. All right, here we go. Let's see how this goes.
Attackers incoming.
Yeah, I know. Working together in Overwatch? Are you kidding me? Here we go. That's a tough start. Yeah, and you really can't even try to res there. Like, you made the correct choice on even going for a res. Yeah, that's just a... By the way, those are always the feels bad to, like, a start of a game where, like, everybody gets picked off one by one and there's just no way to do anything. Like, you can't get a trade kill. You can't get a res to even the numbers. Like, it just feels bad, right? On retake here, remember, there's multiple doorways. And I'm going to show this to everybody. A lot of people like to funnel out this bottom doorway here and get rolled. Remember, you have a little bit more open space here. You now have these back stairs to go this way to get access this way for more, right? So you can see what I mean? You have this. You can go up top here. You can go out one of the doorways. You have cover here. You don't have to funnel out this bottom left door, right? You don't. Now, granted, you do want somebody to come from this angle because in Overwatch, one of the best things you can do is create angles. And what that means is like you want this, like imagine this Zenyatta sitting here and everybody walks out of this doorway, right? They're going to shred. Now, if you're playing Zenyatta and you have somebody here, you have somebody here, you have somebody up here, you have 3 things to worry about, right? And you can't just sit here and spam down a hallway. So even though like sometimes you want to all stack with your team, the reason why you constantly hear players, if you ever watch videos in general with like coaching, etc., they stress the idea of playing angles, and that is why you play angles, is because of this. Do you see? Because of that exact reason. It makes it so you don't just have to like shoot down a hallway and you have multiple reviews in that one. So going up here is good. You're basically going up here to take an angle, you fall, but you go to another doorway that's clear. Now, granted, your team couldn't get to the point, and that is what it is, but I do want to once again point out to people, it is okay if your team has a bad point. It doesn't mean you give up and start getting angry at your team, okay? It's just an unlucky, you got snowballed. Whenever we reference, like, getting snowballed in Overwatch, it just means that you never, like, settle as a team, and you constantly don't even have a team fight. That's what that is. That's all that happened on first. Nothing else happened. Nothing else happened at that point. Remember, the other team has ultimates now. You've had to make hero swaps. You're going to be behind. You're going to be behind for a bit, okay? It's going to happen. When you have to make aggressive hero swaps also, it's going to be really hard to catch up because the other team also not only has the map control, they have the ult advantage. So right now, best thing you can do is just focus. You'll be fine for now. Now, nobody took the good spawn, but maybe that's... Okay, I was worried about that. I'm gonna show something here, chat, because I think sometimes people forget about this. The system started a while ago. And a lot of people know about it, but it's always a good reminder. Unless you know you can have a good setup here, which even this is, I wouldn't even recommend. The best thing you can do is go back to your spawn doors right when the point switches. There's going to be like a, you'll see like the little, you'll see the spawn door thing here, and just hit your interact key. Now, you go, what's the interact key? Whatever you use to take a Symmetra teleporter, hit that button in spawn, and it will move you back to the next spawn. This gives you plenty of time to regroup. This gives you plenty of time to have map control. Instead, you get staggered, and now when you come out of here, rather than the cart being back here, the cart is going to be up right here, okay? You see this? So you have a little bit less room to work with, and that's a struggle. So just remember that. Like, take that spawn, don't get killed by that, and you'll all regroup together. Okay? The interact key is what does that. I'm not worried about the suboptimal fade into the open because at that point they were all over the place. They were staggering. Like when you're in a situation where you're not having a team fight, all of like that will go out the window half the time. Like you're just trying to get back to where you need to go. Okay. Uh-oh. See ya. Oh, nice! The Sigma saved you. For now. You ready to lead out with Moira out here in a second, all right? Ready, go. Okay, I'm gonna be real with you. That might be one of the worst halves of Gibraltar I've seen in a long time. I'm gonna be real with you. That might have been one of the worst Gibraltars I've seen in a long time. It happens, right? I've been there. I've been on the side of that where there's like 5 minutes on the clock. I've been there. Don't worry. But you know what? The key is this. And I'm going to teach people this. When a team snowballs you, okay? And I really want you to understand this because this is how I've won so many games this way, okay? How did the other team win? Right? Well, I mean, I kind of explained it there. The other team won because they got steamrolled, okay? Absolutely steamrolled. They had no chance. They had no opportunity. They had no way to win a team fight. But what is the one thing that the team with 5 minutes has going for them still? Or has no time, right? What's the one thing you have going for them? Like the attacking team right now, that the other team has like so much time on the clock. I mean, grit is good to have. Are you ready, though? The other team hasn't... Okay, I'll wait on the ads. You know what? We'll leave them on a cliffhanger, and I'll explain that after the ads. The other team has ads? Yeah, they have ads. That's it. The other team got ads. But basically, here's what happened. When a team wins with 5 minutes, right? And then this is the reason why I don't ever really give up in these games. I mean, I don't ever in general, like with games. But like, the reason why you don't like give up in this situation is because the other team hasn't had to take a team fight against you, right? The other team has proven they can go against you and snowball you the whole way through. But they haven't won a team fight outside of the first team fight, which was scuffed to begin with. So that is where teamwork can come into play. The other team hasn't had to use teamwork. They're just hitting buttons and they're making plays. So what happens when the team that just steamrolled you has to take a legitimate 5v5 team fight, right? What happens then? And usually the other team won't make adjustments. So now you have the opportunity to make an adjustment. And on top of that, you can start dictating the pace. And that's why games like this become really winnable. Like when you, like games are like, these are why the games become very winnable, is because the other team has only won off of snowball. That is it. They haven't had a chance to like take you in a team fight, have to manage their ult economy. That is why you'll win games like this. And then what happens is you say you finish this with no time. The other team would get 6 minutes. But you then have overtime spawns. So not only do you have that advantage, that's why when you go to the next round, if you do make it to the next round, you have overtime spawns after you win one team fight. They won't. And that's how these games reverse very quickly, right? It has that kind of that comeback mechanic. So I just want to point it out. If you have a game where there's 5 minutes on the other team or something like this, it does not mean that the game is over at all. It is possible to come back in these situations, all right? Because the other team hasn't had to play Overwatch as a team yet. They've only had a snowball. So here we go. Okay. Not the best start for your Pharah. There you go. There you go. And look at, by the way, their team's starting to go in one by one. Their team is starting to do exactly what we're saying. Like they're not like making like these set plays. Your Reaper's going in, picking them off because they're not helping Peel. Look at that. Just like that, the other team's already going, uh-oh. What do we do now? Right? Look at that. They have somebody dropping down on the low ground, playing by themselves. They're taking isolated 1v1s. Because they haven't had to work as a team yet, so they don't have to react to that yet. Doesn't mean that they're bad, it just means that your team has more opportunity. Now, granted, this is a feels bad where you lose this part right here, but... Don't you love when, like, you're trying to keep somebody healed and they just keep, like, maximizing how much damage output they can take? You did a fairly good job of, like, keeping him alive there, though. Good use of damage orb to get your, like, resources. Remember, damage orb gives you resources back. One of the reasons why it becomes so good to balance healing and damage. In that situation, I want you to understand numbers. I would rather see you save that. Especially when you hear them pop Juno wall and it's just you and an Orisa. Don't do that. Save your ultimate. There's no reason to try to force the play there. The best thing you can do is win off of ult economy. Let them use their ultimates to clear you and an Orisa out of there. Don't try to counter, in my opinion. Just don't leave it at that, right? But yeah, and I was saying with Moira, one of the reasons why, it kind of, like, I feel like sometimes players, like, expect Moira, like, their Moiras, like, to not do any damage. But, like, just to kind of point this out to players if you don't play Moira, okay? If you don't play Moira, the damage that Moira does gives Moira healing resource. So the damage that Moira does means that there can be more uptime on heals for you. Does that make sense? Because if they don't do damage, then they only can rely on their healing orb and they barely have any resources. But when they right-click for damage, it gives them healing resources back. When they do a damage orb, it gives them healing resources back to be able to pump heals out. So, like, some people get really mad if they see their Moira DPS, but sometimes the Moira has to because they're not going to be able to heal you. They're going to heal you for one burst of Moira heal. So... I greet you. Now, you, like, see that Genji? Like I'm telling you, the way that they're playing, like, look at that Genji's play right here, chat. You see that? That's what they've been doing the whole game. Does that seem like good teamwork to you? You see what I mean? Now, for example, this is one of those situations where the Moira has to do right-click to the Winston to get that resource back, and then they were able to then heal up their teammate. So, like, that damage orb actually is probably the correct play. Because the healing orb, I don't know about you, whenever I use my healing orb, it goes to Horizon Lunar Colony. See? Their team has a very interesting play style. Teamwork is not an option for them, so you just got to grind them down and win. See? Yeah.
My aid.
I mean, this is a unique spot because I feel like your team, yeah, you're good. Like, do you see that though? Like, do you see how the other team is isolating themselves in 1v1s? Like, that's not going to be advantageous at all for them. They're literally isolating themselves in 1v1s. Like, your team has a good opportunity here. Like, Zenyatta just ran down to the cart by themselves to try to 1v1 a Moira on cart. Here we go. Alright, damage orb in. Wait, ult this, you can ult this, you can ult this, you can ult this. If you want to ult this to win, you can. Yes, 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 yes. This is perfect. They're gonna get rolled. Nice ultimate. I want to pause here to help you a little bit out with this one. Try your best to get that time in like 2 seconds earlier. Because there was a window there where if you don't ultimate and they get a kill on your teammate in front of you, it's a lot worse. So I want you to really understand timings here. Don't be afraid to use your ult there. And I know you had a bad ult earlier. It doesn't mean you still can't be aggressive. So your ult was correct. Timing was about 2 seconds. I want you to be a little bit careful there. But good job. Like, good job. All right. Clarice, thanks for the 9 months average prize. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you. And just like that, chat. Already on third point with 4 minutes. And see, their team didn't give up. And the other team has proven that they don't have teamwork. They just go in individually. So, and J Poppy, thank you for that. Thank you. Appreciate it, everybody. You've done a good balance of damage and healing. I've been happy with that. Be careful of Genji deflect. Once again, this is for anybody playing Moira. If there's a Genji and they haven't used deflect yet and you throw it right at the Genji, they can. They don't have to, but they sometimes will. They can deflect your stuff, okay? They can deflect your orb. So, not your right click, but your orb. So if you orb, whether it's a healing orb or a damage orb, they can deflect it as Genji. And if you're a Genji player and you didn't know that, now you know. Okay? Yep. that Winston hecked up bad. They had a free kill on Zenyatta. That was certainly a decision of a Zenel. See? Yep, use cover here. Good job. Use cover for a second. If your Orisa dies it, it's going to be more in your Orisa or like a good play by the other team. Don't worry about that. All right? Here we go. What rank is this game? Gold. What do I think about Moira in this temp? I mean, I'm not sure how warm is it in Gibraltar. I'm not sure. Yeah, back away. Just reset. Team overextended. Seems like a nice sunny day. Yeah, have you ever looked up trying to do a play on first point? It's a sunny day. It'd be pretty warm. Yeah, Moira's fine then. All right, notice how much they're getting picks on them? Yes. Good job. I love this because of the tempo. Of like just being able to just like be like, hey, we're gonna ult in, and we're not gonna let you sit back and make a play on us first. You look at that and you go, hey, that way, you know, they didn't get 4 kills. You don't need 4 kills. You just need the other team to have to react to it. Right? When you play on your back foot a lot of the time, that is how you make those plays. Nice job. Excellent. I mean, like, this is why, just to point out to people, I always talk about this. I love the idea of proactive ultimates because that's what happens. The other team is on their back foot now, and they have to make a play based off of that, right? The other team has to make a play because you have started the ultimates. And you know they didn't have some of the other ultimates like Zenyatta and Winston ultimate because they had used it previously. So using that, it doesn't light up on the kill feed, but it is a lot more than you expected to do. Like, imagine, I always want you to think about it this way. If you're on the other team and you get Moira ulted, what's your reaction? Are you going to sit there and go, that's a Moira ult? No, you're going to move around the map. And when you're playing reactive, that's when you make more mistakes. And that happens even in pro play, right? When a team has to play very reactive, it's much more common the reactive team will make a mistake in comparison to the proactive team, right? And there's teams that are well-versed and well-coached in that where, like, they're very well-prepared for dives. But generally, a team who's very proactive and makes those aggressive plays can still find time-ins and windows of opportunity to get a team fight win, even if the other team is massively prepared for it, because they're always on their back foot. It's cool. Like I said, I enjoy it just because, like, I don't know. I love watching, like, good gameplay and, like, you know, people coming together for teamwork. It's so rare in Overwatch. It's funny because they've alluded to it over the years now. They've kind of had to make the game less teamwork heavy because players don't want to use teamwork. Which, I mean, I get part of that. Like, honestly, in Overwatch, one of the most frustrating things is that sometimes it can be too team reliant, so I get alleviating some of that pressure, but, like, it still is a major part of the game. Not working together in a team game is insane, dude. Yeah, I mean, the problem is that, like, some players just want to vibe out and do their thing, right? And I get it. I mean, I get it. Like, I'm going to be honest with you. Like, people have been talking about Deadlock. Let's be honest, chat. If I go play Deadlock right now, do you think I'm going to be helping my team in the other lane? Because I have no idea what I'm doing. So sometimes when you're in, like, let's say bronze, for example, and silver, it's not as intuitive to, like, just do that because, like, you're just trying to figure out the game for yourself. You're like, okay, I need to do this. So you lose a little bit of that teamwork aspect because you're just, like, you're trying to figure things out, right? Like, you don't even know what you're doing. So, like, even thinking about the aspect of timing something up, you're like, wait a second, this is a lot. I want to know how to hit my buttons correctly. I get it, though. And, like, you even see in Top 500 where teamwork has become less and less, which they've also kind of alluded to it in blog posts. They want to keep the core aspect of teamwork there, but they want it also to have more agency over, like, your own hero and how you play. So, yeah. Good start. You said you're and I'll keep watching this. Good start. Working together as a core. You're a Pharah, Genji, Tormei. You decayed to Diamond 3 as they're not playing, which is what he's saying. It's better the duo or trio to get to Masters. I mean, it just depends on the chemistry of your team and if it works. I think duo or trio is fine. Yeah. Just whatever works the best for y'all. I don't know how your friends play, etc. You know. Here we go. I mean, did you see what I'm talking about, though? Remember how we kind of brought this back earlier where I mentioned that just because the other team has 5 minutes does not mean they were playing perfectly because their teamwork, they didn't show they could use teamwork yet. And now what's happened? The other team is on their back foot now because they don't have any teamwork. You said they're overhealing. I mean, I think sometimes they're just predicting damage and sometimes people like to hit buttons. I'm not saying their healing's been perfect, but like it's not like it honestly hasn't really been like a huge issue for me. Like right there, I see what you're saying where like they're burst healing a little bit. But like if you're in like a situation where nothing's happening and you use a little bit of your resources, as long as you're not using your whole bar and you have it back in time, like I'm not gonna sit there and overanalyze it too much, right? It comes to a point where like you don't want to try to fine-tune everything that somebody does because then you just kind of overload them with too much information. Start with the basics, get the things down, understand certain aspects of it, and then take the next step after you're ready for that, right? Where it becomes almost like second nature. You know? Yeah, you're going to play somewhat defensive here because they're going to be able to heal through a lot of that. Damage orb when you can, but watch over the deflect. Yes. Good job using fade. Uh-oh. Now you're dead, though. Yeah, that's a tough one. That's a tough one because I feel like eventually they can outstack, but you know what? That's a solid push. That to me is a solid push. Honestly. Halfway through second point, all you need to do, in my opinion now, is hold first point for 3 minutes, and this is an easily winnable game. If you can hold for 3 minutes on first point, you're gonna be fine. That's it. Because then you'll have about a minute 45, and hopefully ultimates going to the last one. So if you hold for 3 minutes, I think you'll be in a good spot. Yeah, they are pre-healing sometimes, yes. Because you have the heal over time, yep. It's kind of like with Juno has the heal over time, right? Where you'll pre-heal as Juno, you have the burst heal, then the heal over time. Okay, here we go. Tough start by your diva, but it's okay. Just settle. The other team has proven that they don't, like, teamwork-wise, they don't work as well as your team does when you work together. You lost your diva, that's fine. Back away. If they kill your diva, they kill your diva. Oh, wow. Never mind. Your diva just remaxed on a Genji. Oh, let's go! By the way, and this is what I mean about the other team. Do you see how the other team went in there, by the way? And all try to individually 1v1 a diva? That's what I'm talking about. The other team has not proven that their teamwork is going to be good enough to go and win this game if they can't snowball you. 3 people try to individually 1v1 a diva, rather than all working together to kill a baby diva. And now look what happens. Now your team has gained control. Also, try your best to stop deflect or throw in your Genji or your Moira orb into Genji deflect. It's all right, so I think it's like a recommended situation here to not go off the map. Yeah, that's all I got for you. Try not to fade off the map here. Also, I've been here before. I've done that. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I've done this before. It happens. There's actually a spot, I think, around here. There's technically a spot around here somewhere where you can, like, survive for a little bit. But, yeah, I've done it before. It happens. You know, I would have been a little bit, you know, careful on that one. So, you know, be a little bit careful. Yeah, it happens. You know, listen. All you got to say there is, oh, what a boot. That's it. Just no context. Just say, oh, what a boot. Okay? Your team won't question it. Now, you look at the other team and you go, who booped you? And they're worried about the team fight. They're not going to look. You're fine. Just say, oh, what a boop. Holy crap. And then compliment the boop twice. Randomly. Alright. Don't be afraid to ult this. I would wait a second though until your damage orb's up. It's like the damage orb Moira ult combo is good. So like do a damage orb and then go right into your ult. Like healing orb. See, like I see the healing orb, but I actually like the idea of like using a damage orb with that. Like if your plan is to use Moira ult, just launch a damage orb. Like if your reaction is I'm gonna ult right away, damage orb to add damage to your ultimate, because your heals will be more than good enough on your ult. Good job there though, by the way. That was really good job. That was a really good job. I like that. Yeah, that was a very good job. Yeah, back away. Don't overfeed here, okay? Don't feed here. Okay, so I think there was a bit of a miscommunication here. I said don't feed here, all right? So I'm gonna kind of like talk about this with you because I think this is where like players will start to kind of like, you're starting to feel it now. And what I mean by that is, imagine that like you start to look at the clock and you go, holy crap, can we do this? All you need to do in this situation is play fundamentally sound. And what I mean by that is don't try to do too much. You're at the point now where you had to do what you had to do. You're down. It's down to 3 minutes now almost. Remember I said like I wanted 3 minutes off the clock? Look at the timer. At this point, right? At this point, I just want you to try to like understand the best thing you can do is just play fundamentally sound. Don't try to do too much. You don't need to try to do too much. Like would you do this regularly at the beginning of the game? I mean, hopefully not. But what I gather from this is that like you're starting to feel like, oh, this is winnable now. The best thing you can do is make the other team have to now, they're on their back foot now. They're starting to feel it more than you are, and the worst thing you can do is give them a free pick. Okay? So just try next time in this situation, because it will happen again in a situation like this, that you just think about like, okay, I'm not going to feed, I'm not going to use cooldowns in and get rolled. The worst thing I can do is give them an opportunity back into the game, because right now the other team, they're 3 minutes off the clock. They're starting to feel it. They're feeling the pressure. Don't alleviate that pressure for them by just going in there and feed it. All right? Keep that pressure on them. I mean, but they did exactly what I said would be. In order for them to have a chance at winning this game, 3 minutes off the clock was what I said. And guess what? It was 5:08 on the clock when they started. It's now below 5:08. It's 3 minutes. You have done exactly what you need to do to set yourself up here. Now look when the card starts really getting into flow here. I said around 1:45 is when your team will be able to engage. Look at the card. Look at where we're at. Oh, it'll be 1:45. So you did exactly everything you need to do. Okay?
For the parched.
Uh-oh. Good job by your team. Once again, be careful right there. You don't have to be the one to push the cart, okay? You do not have to be the one to push the cart. So I'd rather see you play here, right? I'd rather see you play here than all the way up here. You don't have to push the cart. You have range on your Moira heals. More than you probably expect. Once again, don't try to do too much. Okay?
Careful, we're outnumbered.
You have Zenyatta ultimate, you're going to have Moira ult. You could turn this fight. Because you're going to have your ult very soon. Yeah, we do Zen ult. Perfect. Free kill on Genji. Remember, they like to try to individually 1v1. You're going to want to use your ult here. Maybe not. Go, not yet. No. Save it. Good job saving it. If the Winston got them really low, you were fine, but that was a great job. Great job saving it. Now you have your ultimate. Now this has become as winnable as it gets. Okay. This is where ult tracking becomes important. What do they have? What haven't you seen? Always try to do that in between each team fight. What ult have you not seen in a while? Reaper ult, Blade, Bam. Yes, I can read the other team's ult charts very well. I'm really smart. But you want to understand that you need to prepare for that. So what you want to do is either set the tone and be really aggro right now with your team, not by yourself. Or... No, you're good. They hecked up. Your diva was aggro. And now you just ult the Winston if you want. You save it in case the Genji gets back or like with like a miracle blade or something. It didn't matter, you won. And just like that, you won the game. And see, this is what I meant. This is why when you have a game where the other team stomps you on one half, but they have not proven to you yet, right? Keep this in mind. If the team has not proven to you yet that they can beat you and win, right, with teamwork, you're always in the game. And that's what happened. They won on Snowball when they needed to work together. They took individual 1v1s. Your team stayed together as a core. Teamwork wasn't perfect, but it was better than theirs. And that's how you win games like this. And that's why I keep telling people, do not just quit on a game because you had a bad half. It is so winnable a lot of the time. Now, if they full hold you for 3 minutes and 45 seconds on first, clearly it's going to be a struggle game. You know, keep trying to the end, but obviously like that's going to feel different. But when their team has not proven to you that they can win with teamwork, that is how you win these games. I once again want to reiterate to you, and this will be helpful for you in the future, when you get in these situations where you're in clutch, like really close games, don't try to do too much. The players that win those games usually are the players who play it fundamentally sound. It doesn't mean don't be aggressive. Like if you decided, hey, I want to push in with Moira out, let's go in. Do it, but do it as a team, right? Not by yourself by fading up into the high ground behind them. Do it as a team, okay? You understand what I'm saying at that point? Outside of that, I saw some good moments. A little bit, felt like your ult, like you had that one bad ultimate on the Gibraltar room that you definitely need to work on. Sometimes you use your heals a little bit too much, but I get it at times. Stop throwing your stuff into the deflects. Work on, also, one more thing, and I think you can utilize this a lot. Stop using your fade as like a engagement tool. Unless it like has a reason behind it. Like let's say a Genji's on their back foot and you know you're in a 1v1. You can engage in on that. More than likely, they won't follow up on you, right? Because you know that. But if, like, their team's in front of you and they watch a Moira fade in, you have no escape now. So stop using that as, like, I'm going to go into their team. Use it as, like, I need this to survive backwards or I need this to go in with my team. Not an individual by yourself play. And if you're going to do individual by yourself, you better make sure that, like, it is a guarantee that they will not trade on you. Okay? Good job. Good job to your team. I can see you continuously climbing because I think you definitely have a lot here that's good. So just pick up on some of those tips we gave you, and I think you can do this. You got this. If you like this video, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to all 3 YouTubes if you haven't, leave a comment. All of that helps. If you want to submit your own spectating, look in the description below. That's where you'll see my Discord, everything else. Discord's where you can submit everything, so join that. We also record these live on stream. You can see the Twitch chat below the webcam. We also stream on YouTube. TikTok sometimes, so stop by if you haven't. We have a lot of fun here. With that being said, I hope you all have an amazing day /night.